Welcome to another exciting episode of Real Talk. I mean, you guys can't see the smile on my face right now because I'm wearing a mask, but today is a very special day for me. Very, very special. I am honored, humbled to have one of our national heroes in the building. I'm talking about a man that has done so much for this nation of Antigua and Barbuda. I'm talking about Sir Curtly Ambrose, man. Welcome to Real Talk.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure to have you here, man.
It's really a pleasure to be here as well. Thank you.
I'm really, really happy. You know, I always start this show with a little story, and I'm gonna share mine now. And I just remember how apart from seeing you on TV and watching you play cricket, right? I remember the first time I got close to you was when we were playing basketball. I think you were playing for DC Diamonds at the time, if I'm correct, or was it the Business League? I can't remember who you were playing for at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember when I came to the court and I saw you, I was like, whoa, I'm going to be playing against a legend today, boy. I need to win this game.
But you lost.
Need to win this game. And that was my moment, I had the opportunity to get close to you. And know that I'm here in your presence, man. I'm just so happy.
It's really a pleasure.
How have you been, man? How have you been dealing with this COVID and this new way of living?
I mean, it's tough, obviously, because, you're so restricted. Can't really do things you would like to do. But for me personally, it's not so bad because I'm not a going out kind of person. Mm-hmm. I play music. So when I got to play music at nights, I'll go out. Yeah. Outside of that, I'm home mostly. Yeah. So in terms of curfew and stuff, it doesn't really bother me. Mm-hmm. But it's still tough because, I like to go out when I feel like, yeah. But, with all the restrictions. But for me, it has to be done. So you can only hope and pray that in the very near future, yeah, this will go away.
Well, I was supposed to have you on here, a few weeks ago. And so ever since I spoke to your daughter about having you here, I've been doing some research and just putting out some questions for people, mm-hmm. so that I could, not just make it about me, but get other persons involved with some of the things that they would like to know about you.
Right.
So that's the reason why I have my phone in my hand, guys. I'm not texting while I'm talking to the legend. The questions are actually on the phone. So let me start out with the first question. What got you interested in cricket?
My mother. My mother, bless her soul, she's passed on 4 years now. But she was a cricket fanatic. Mm. She loves cricket with a passion. I remember as a young boy growing up in Sweets. Because I'm from Sweets, she's always have this small transistor radio, listening to cricket commentary. But back in those days, there was no TV coverage, yeah, all about the radio. So she was really listening, and it used to annoy me. Because for me, basketball. And it's not basketball, football, as in soccer. Yeah. Some people call it football and soccer, so I want to be sure. Basketball and then football or soccer. Yeah. Cricket for me, I played like every other youngsters in the village, just for fun. Mm-hmm. And I have an older brother who used to play for Sweets, represent Sweets, mm-hmm, and then he migrated to the States, yeah, to join my father. Oh. So I was next in line. So my mother kept telling me, you got to play cricket. Cricket is the way to go. And I was like, nah, I can't see me playing cricket. Mm-hmm. But, she kept pestering me. And I decided, you know what? Let me try and play cricket. And I was quietly hoping it didn't work. So she could say, you know what? You tried and it didn't work. Yeah. Funny enough, I started playing for Sweets in 1984. Mm. And then had some success. 1 year later, in 1985, I made the Antigua national team. Mm. And a year later, in 1986, I was selected for the Leeward Islands team. I wasn't initially in the squad, but a couple of fast bowlers got injured. Yeah. And because I did so well for Antigua in 85, the year before, they drafted me for the last game. And funny enough, in 87, when I went to the camp and stuff for Leeward Islands, I wasn't selected. To the annoyance of lots of Antiguans. Because I remember clearly, we had a training session at the police vacation ground. And, lots of Antiguans up there. So Viv was the captain, got Richie, Winston Benjamin, all these guys. And I remember the whole of Antigua was saying, because you had Winston Benjamin, Eldin Baptist, Anthony Merrick, George Ferris. They were the 4 leading fast bowlers. I was 5th in line. So I reckon I won't make the starting 11. Yeah. I figured, you know, 'cause they're the senior players. I'll probably be in the 13 for backup. However, they selected 13, and I wasn't a part of the 13. And they selected 4 additional just for cover, just in case. And I wasn't in the 4 either.
Wow.
So basically, they selected 17 players, and I was not in the 17. And Antiguans were annoyed because the thing on the street was, all of them had me selected in 11. They were saying, Curtly Ambrose and who? Going to share the new ball.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I said, no, I won't make the first 11 because I'm a rookie. Those guys are senior.
Yeah.
But to not be selected in the 17, to me, was a shock. But it didn't really say much for me because I never really liked cricket that much anyway. I played because I had a little talent and people kept telling me. And then, however, in 1988, I came back again into the camp, made Lee Well's team, broke the regional record for the most wickets in a season.
Wow. Hey, wow.
And they were selected for West Indies the same year, 88.
Oh my goodness. You know, let's go back a little bit. So you left from not being selected.
Yeah.
Not being selected in that 17.
Yeah.
And you never gave up. You never gave up. Even
No,
though you
I
liked
didn't.
it,
I didn't like it much, but I never gave up,
you
no.
never gave up.
No, I
You
didn't.
went back and you got selected.
Yes.
You got selected.
Because I wanted to prove to the selectors that, you know, I'm not just a flash in the pan. I believe I can play this game at that level and even go beyond. So, see, my life has always been like that. You know, I thrive on, you know, when people say you can't do certain things, when they doubt what you can do, I always thrive to show them that I can do this.
That's me.
So my thing was to show them, in selectors, you know what, you didn't select me 17, that's fine. I'm going to come back and show you. You know, so yeah, that's how it is.
I love that. That's me, man. And you know, after you got selected, and then you said you got selected for the Leeward Islands, and then for the West Indies.
Right, in 1988,
And
same year.
When now, during that time of your career, did you realize that you could become a world class cricketer?
Good question. And whenever I say this, people look at me in a strange kind of way. Like, well, Curtly Ambrose is crazy. It took me 2 years of international cricket to start to take it really serious. Let me explain. I made my debut in 1988. And for me, it was still basketball. I was 24 at the time, and I still was thinking basketball. I even toyed with the idea of going to the States to join my brother and father and 2 sisters, hopefully get into the NBA, can set up.
Yeah.
So even though I was playing for West Indies at age 24, I was still like, man, I still got some time too for the NBA kind of situation. I could get lucky. And when I play for West Indies, I give 100%.
Yeah.
Because I'm a very proud man.
Yeah.
And anything I do, I want to be the best at it. So, but every opportunity I get, so when I get back to Antigua on the basketball court, and my villagers in Sweden used to curse me. What are you doing? You're an international cricketer. But in my mind, I was like, no, basketball, still thinking basketball. And 2 years later, in 1990, West Indies played against England here in the Caribbean. And I wasn't selected for the first test match. Well, I was sick, playing for Leeward Islands, so I got sick in the last game for Leeward Islands, and then the team was selected soon after, so they figured I wasn't fit enough, so I wasn't selected. I was fit. And I said, you know what? So that was my first brush of a little bit of not being selected. I was like, what? You know, after 2 years and I've done quite well. So that's when I said, you know what? Let me take this game seriously. Seriously game, a competitive level. I said, you know what? Let me show these people that Curtly Ambrose can play this game for as long as he wants until I feel like quitting. And then I came back in the team a little bit later. And funny thing about it, I never looked back since. And I played for like 12 and a half years, non-stop.
Wow, you know, I just listened to you said that a while ago, man, and I can definitely relate to what you're saying because I'm a very competitive guy too. And everything that I do, I try to put my best into it.
Yes.
Because I don't want to fail.
Of course not.
You know, I don't want to fail. I don't believe in that. Even failure is a part of life too.
Yeah, it is. That's true.
You know, but you know, you move from not being selected, and then you got selected, and then to not getting selected again, and then you put in the work, and then you were ranked as one of the best fast bowlers in the world. I am not talking about best fast bowler in Antigua, in the world. How does that make you feel?
It's, it's a huge honor, you know, to be regarded as one of the best in the world, one of the best who have ever played this game. And because not too many people get a chance to be named in that bracket. So for me, coming from a small island of Antigua, 108 square miles, 80,000, maybe 90,000 population, you know, for me, it was a great honor because I try to show people that even though you're from a small nation or a small island, it doesn't mean that you can't excel to the very top. You know, so then of course we had Sir Viv and Sir Richie in the team as well. And those two guys were magnificent. So I being another Antiguan, that even drive me more to maintain a strong legacy from a small nation. You know, so it was really nice feeling to hear you've been rated as one of the best.
As one of the best in the game. And go back down to the next question, you know, what was it like, you know, sharing the field with Sir Viv and, you know, the Courtney Walsh and, you know, all those, you know, great friends that you had from back in your time of playing. What was that experience like for you?
I never thought I would ever be on the same field as Sir Viv Richards. Sir Viv Richards, when they talk cricket anywhere in the world, you have to mention Sir Viv. He was just a special player, right? And not wanting to play cricket, I never really see myself on the same field with Sir Viv, you know? And I remember when I played for Leeway Adams first. That was my first encounter, you know, getting close to Sir Viv. You know, and Sir Richie as well. Even though I've seen him from a distance. So Winston Benjamin and I, you know, we went to the secondary school together. So I know Winston from school days. So when he was a part of the team, we cling together. So it was easy for me to hang with Winston, right? And then Kenneth Benjamin came after, same thing, also in secondary school again, right? So we cling together mostly. But in terms of Sir Viv, to be on the same park with him, for me was an extremely high privilege. That's a great man we're talking there, yeah? Very passionate, set high standards, and I can tell you one thing, as a captain, he's a no-nonsense fella, yeah? Not afraid to let you know when you're not pulling a weight, with a few choice words, I can tell you. But one thing I can say with Sir Viv, you know, because the kind of standard he set, automatically you have to raise your game to get up at least close enough. And once he believes in you, he'll back you all the way. Even though he may hammer you sometimes when you're not pulling a weight, it's just for your own good, to let you know, man, you can do better. You know, but he's a strong leader, great man, and let me tell you, man, it was a pleasure to play alongside him.
Wow. I can feel it.
Yeah.
How you talk about it, no, man, I can feel it. I just feel the energy and the vibe, you know? One of the things one of the questions that I have here, what was the training process like? How much hours did you have to put into your craft to become, you know, one of the best in the world? What was that like?
It takes a lot of hard work, believe me. Fast bowling is hard work. It entails a lot of running, right? So for me, because I don't carry a lot of excess weight and stuff, you know, even if I sit down for a couple of months and don't do nothing, it never takes me that long to get back in shape because I don't have to burn off no excess weight and all that stuff. So I was very privileged in that aspect. But having said that, you know, it took a lot of hard work. For me, a lot of running is important to build your stamina and strengthen your legs. A lot of young fast bowlers, and if you're looking at this program, it's very, very important that you do a lot of running to strengthen your legs and a lot of bowling so you can get much ready and much fit. Because I find in today's world, a lot of people spend time in the gym, getting bulky and all that stuff. There's nothing wrong with getting stronger, but you have to remember, you're not training to be a bodybuilder. You're a fast bowler. You need to be supple, right? You need to be flexible and all that stuff. So it's very important you don't do heavy weight too much, because you can go to the gym and pump all the iron in the world, look nice and strong, but when you go to bowl, 1 or 2 overs, you're tired because the body not accustomed to the rigors. So it's important you do a lot of running and a lot of bowling to get your match ready. So when you go to the match, you can bowl all day if you have to. Yeah.
What was one of your proudest moments throughout your career?
I've had a few, you know, but let me see. Well, first of all, my proudest moment was when I was selected for the West Indies team, making my debut. Because, you know, there's only one debut.
Yeah.
You know, so to play my first game, I was selected. It was against Pakistan, a one-day international in Jamaica, Sabina Park.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something, my friend. It was the most nerve-wracking and nervous moment of my life. Because I got to Jamaica and Sabina Park overloaded
The people.
with people.
Oh my God.
Over people everywhere you can think. All in the roof, all over.
Thousands of people.
And I remember Sir Viv was the captain and Patrick Patterson bowled the first over. You know, and they call him Rambo.
Yeah.
So all I could hear from the Sabina crowd, Rambo, Rambo, Rambo. And I was like, damn. I felt okay. And the second over now, Viv came to me and he said, big fella. And that's what he called me up to this very day.
Big fella.
Big fella. He said, big fella, your turn. And tossed me the ball.
Oh boy.
I won't lie. It's the most nervous time of my life. I marked my run up. I can't even remember how I did it.
Yeah.
I like was floating, you know, because I'm not accustomed to that kind of crowd. Because even playing for Leeward Islands or Antigua, the crowd are more smaller.
Kind of crowd.
Right. So it was like 20,000 or whatever. I was like, you know, I marked my run up. Couldn't quite remember how I did it. I was like floating in air. I ran into bowl the first delivery. Don't know how I did it. Because I felt like I was not touching anything.
Yeah.
First ball, I think I got hit for 2 runs. Second ball, I was still nervous.
Yeah.
Hit for 2 more runs. And the third ball, I got a wicket.
Oh boy.
Right?
On your debut?
On my debut.
Oh,
Third delivery of international cricket on my debut. I got a wicket.
Wow.
Got the batsman bowled. And right away, reality kind of set. I said, you know what? Man, this is easier than I thought. I can do this thing, man. And that's when I really started to put the thing in and, you know, I ended up taking 4 wickets in the one-day game, 4 for 30 something from 10 overs and never really looked back. But the first 2 deliveries, I have no idea how I did it. I was just floating. But that wicket from the third delivery, let me realize, man, I can do this thing, man, you know. This ain't so hard as people think, you know. So, and that was it.
You know what I gathered from that? You were born to play cricket.
That's what people kept telling me, you know. They say you have to thank your mother because she knew you had all the talent and you never knew you did and all that kind of thing. But she was the main force behind me, and of course, the villagers some sweets. Yeah.
You were born to play that, man, and it's a blessing to be able. Not many people can say they took a wicket on their debut.
Third delivery.
The third delivery, you took a wicket.
Yeah.
Wow. In front of thousands of people.
Yeah, it could have been 20,000, you know, full Sabina Park, yeah.
And you know, just coming from Antigua, now you're starting to live this life where you're traveling the world. You're talking to the press all the time. You're a celebrity, man. You're known by a lot of people in the world. You know it's not just Antigua. What was that like for you traveling to England, Pakistan, and all those places, the Caribbean, and people screaming your name, and what was that like?
It's a nice feeling. Well, nice is not even a word. You gotta find something to describe that because coming from the Swedes, you know, I never really dreamed I would travel the world. I mean, unless you're not a millionaire, you can't do them things. So to be able to travel different parts of the world, learn different cultures, meet different people, people having this pedestal that you're one of the greatest and stuff.
Yep.
Let me tell you, for me, it was a privilege, it was an honor. But the good thing about it, I've always remained very humble to my roots.
Yep.
Every time I come back and I go back to Sweets, because then I was still living with my mother, even when I started first. And once I get back to Sweets, I still go on the block with the guys, play worry, play dominoes and everything else, you know.
Yep.
So I never forgot where I came from. That's one of the things that my mother instilled in us. Don't ever forget where you come from. You make it make it big in the world. Always remember where you come from and don't look down on people. So I always grew up with that in my head, you know, just remain humble. Yeah. So even though I accomplished so much in cricket, I've always been the same. You know, come back to Sweets or whatever, have fun with the guys. And, you know, as a matter of fact, Midway Service Station, you know, a very good friend of mine, the owner, Maurice Francis, very, very good friend of mine, Balu, who worked with him, very good friend of mine. And whenever I come back from a tour, I used to go by them. I used to work with them before.
Oh, okay.
You know, yeah, I used to work with them before,
Yeah.
right? Before I started playing all this cricket stuff.
Yeah.
Work with them, you know, sell tires, put tires on cars and that kind of stuff. So people see me now as international cricketer. I came from humble beginnings, right? And make something of myself.
Yeah.
So when I come back from a tour, I will still go by Balu and Maurice Francis, change a few tires, tell them, no, I can still do this, you know? Change oil for a vehicle. I said, I can still do this, not because I'm not doing it anymore, just a show.
Yeah.
And some people come by and, Ambrose, what are you doing? You're international cricketer, you should be doing these things. I said, hold on 1 second. You see, that's a difference in you and I.
Yeah.
Not because I'm up internationally, mean that I should just forget my friends and what no, I can't do that.
Yeah.
That's not my upbringing. So people say, no, you can't do that. But that's not me.
A true son of the soil.
Yeah.
And that is great because especially with our skin complexion.
Yep.
As soon as we get a little opportunity and we get some money and we start to get this hype, we tend to forget where we're coming
That's
from.
true.
We tend to forget the people who live in our corner.
That's
before
correct.
We get on this level.
Correct.
So it's again very inspiring to hear you say those things, you know, a man that has traveled the world and seen it all. You know, and just to be able to come back home and to line with your friends, still go back and laugh and have a drink with them.
Of course. Well, not a drink, because I don't drink. I don't drink, I don't smoke.
Okay.
You know, so, but I know what you mean. I know what you mean,
just
yeah.
to come back and
Yeah,
have,
yeah.
I mean, it's just a great feeling, and
Right.
they will respect you for life.
Of
because
course,
that,
of course.
You know, but, you know, just to go on, you know, at what point now in your career did you realize that, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore, I am ready to move on?
After playing, well, like I said, I started in 1988, and this is out West Indies, 1988. And then in 1997, you know, we had a tour of Pakistan. And then I strained something in my back. I can't remember how, but there was a 3 test match series. I played the first 2 test match, couldn't play the third one because something went wrong in my back, like a strain, a muscle or something. Yeah. And I said to myself, you know what? I've never had no serious injuries throughout my career. I wonder if this is a sign to tell me maybe you've done enough, your body have gone through enough. So I contemplated retiring from cricket. But what I wanted to do in 1998, I wanted to come back and play 1 more year for Leeward Islands. Hopefully we can win the championship, the regional championship, and go out with a bang. That was my plan. Because I'm not going to forget Leeward Islands or Antigua. Because that's where I started. And as I got home, you know, playing for Leeward Islands in that particular season in 1998, I remember lots of commentators in the Caribbean, because I had a bad tour of Pakistan, you know. I remember a lot of commentators in the Caribbean saying that Ambrose is done, he's over the hill, you know, he's all washed up, can't make it. So I started to reconsider. I said, no, I know still got something in me, and I didn't want to end my career on that negative note. So I said, you know what? Let me come. Yes, yeah. That clicked in again. You know, the pride and the competitiveness kicked in again. I said, no. After playing from 80 to 97, that's 11 years. You know, serving West Indies cricket so well, I can't end my career on a negative note. People remember the last thing you do. Or he was all washed up. And I said, no, boy, not me and that. Came back and, you know, even when they select the West Indies team, and this is something that a lot of people don't remember. When they select the West Indies team, or we playing at home against England, they usually pick maybe 13 or 14 players. And you have maybe 4 or 5 fast bowlers. Because you always have a fast bowler in reserve just in case. They selected 6 fast bowlers, first time ever.
6 fast bowlers.
For home side, home tour. When they go overseas, you select like 6 to have adequate backup. 6 fast bowlers for home series, which never happened before. Because I had question mark about me and my great friend Courtney Walsh. Right? So they're not so sure if we are good enough to continue. No problem. Anyway, we went. And at the end of that series against England, I got 30 wickets from, I think it was 6 tests. Well, it goes, there were not 6 test matches, but basically it's 5, because the first test match in Jamaica, remember, there was a abandoned test match in Jamaica in 1998. They said the pitch wasn't good enough. So we started the first day, and England was 3 down
Yeah, sure. Listen good.
It's really hard to bear it because it's
Okay.
Okay.
All right. England came to the Caribbean in 1988. Figure is the best chance of beating the West Indies. Because by then we lost quite a lot of our top players. There was no Viv Richards, there was no Gordon Greenidge, no Desmond Haynes, no Jeffrey Dujon, no Richie Richardson. So when you lose them, no Malcolm Marshall. So when you lose that kind of caliber of players all at once, basically, within a couple of years, so England figured they could beat us for the first time for many, many years. But however, at the end of the series, I took 30 wickets, got the player of the series, won a car for the prize.
Wow.
So for a man, and all of a sudden, these same commentators,
Change them out.
they're like, Curtly Ambrose got to play for another 5 years. He got so much left in him. And a few months ago, I was washed up.
Yep.
That's how fickle we are as Caribbean people.
Yep.
Today, you're the greatest. Tomorrow, you're the worst.
You're the worst.
You know, so after that, now I say, you know what? I've proved my point. I can retire now. But then, of course, a lot of people say, no, man, they can't retire, man. They still got to go on. And, you know, so I say, you know what? And it didn't feel like the right time.
Yeah.
So I went on for another 2 years until 2000. And then I said, you know what? I knew it's time to move on because I'm a breakfast person. I love my breakfast.
Yeah.
And many times I'm on tour and just feel like I need some more rest. Normally before that, I'll up early in the morning, get ready, breakfast, get to the ground, ready to go to do battle.
Yeah.
And I find in recent times I was like, sometimes I have my wife with me on tour and stuff for my children.
Yeah.
And my wife was hitting me, look at the time. And I was like, I need a few more minutes. And most times I miss breakfast. Because the time I get up, get into the bathroom, do what I got to do, and then go to the bus. No time for breakfast. I said, you know what? This isn't right. It's time for me to call it a day. So in Antigua, in 2000, we played against Pakistan, with the home series. And the last game was played here in Antigua. And I said to my good friend Courtney Walsh, you know, partner, you and I have done some battles over the years together. This is the last time we're going to play together. So let's enjoy it. And he said, no, and you know, you're Jamaican, you know, no big man, you can't do me that, you know. I said, I have enough. I'm just not enjoying it anymore. I get to the ground, and by lunchtime, I'm looking at my watch. It's only lunchtime. Damn, you know, tea time, only tea time. Can't wait for the day's play. That never happened before. Those to me are signs. And then at the end of the match, I ended on 388 test wickets, right? And Courtney Walsh, I have to say thanks to him. He was the one said to me, because at that time, there were only 4 bowlers in the history of test cricket to have taken 400 or more test wickets. And Courtney Walsh had just taken his 400 wickets not so long ago.
Yeah.
And he said to me, listen, brethren, you have to get into the 400 club, you know.
Yeah.
I said, Cuddy, you know, I don't play cricket for personal glory. I do it for the people.
Yeah.
And I don't care about the 400. He said, no, big man, I can't do me that. You know, you got to join a partner in the 400 club.
Yeah.
And I thought about it. I said, you know what? You need 12 wickets. And we go to tour England. I said, if I go England and play 5 test matches and I can't get 12 wickets, I'm not supposed to get 400.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? You're right. So the first and only time in my career I've played for my personal achievement because of Courtney Walsh. So I went, I got over the 400, ended up with 405, and then I decided, you know what? I'm done. So I just waved to the crowd, said, thank you very much for the support and everything.
Did you cry? Did you cry? Did you?
No, I did not. It was a little bit emotional because as I was walking out to bat, the last innings, the England cricketers had a guard of honor.
Yeah.
We just stood there on both sides, had me walk through, clapping and the whole crowd standing and everything to show the appreciation. It was a bit emotional.
You said that a while ago. Just
Yeah,
thinking about that.
it was a bit emotional, you know, because that tells you that they appreciate what you've done for cricket. Not only the players, but the spectators as well.
Yeah, man, you've done such a great job, such an amazing job. You've set goals and accomplished them, and you're definitely a legend. You're one of the greatest to ever play the game of cricket because of your hard work and your determination. But what I love about you, Mr. Ambrose, is that you never settled. You know, you left from cricket, and I have a book here your book.
Yes.
You know, this is such an amazing thing, man, and you know, I would love for us to talk about this book a little bit more. What inspired you to write that book?
Well, for many years, people kept saying to me, you need to write a book so your fans could know the true Curtly Ambrose.
Yeah.
Because they only know you from cricket. They don't know your background. They don't know anything about you. But I always prefer to just stay in the background and you can judge me from my exploits on the field.
Yeah.
The least you know about me, the better. That's what my philosophy, right? So, you know, I never really like to be at the forefront. When I'm in the middle playing, I have no choice. But after the game or whatever, I want to just go my quiet way and chill out.
Yeah.
So people kept telling me, do a book. 'Cause back in those days, the book was the in thing, you know. I was like, no, not me. At the end of my career, you can say he was a wonderful cricketer or not,
Yeah.
and I can go away peacefully, I don't mind.
Yeah.
And then the guy, Richard Sydenham, he's an Englishman, came to me one time and said, listen, I think I should do a book and blah, blah, blah. And I said to him, respectfully, I'm not really interested in doing a book. And a couple of years later, we met again, and he came back with the same book idea. By then, I had stopped playing cricket and so on. And I was like, maybe you're right. My fans, they support me for so many years. They don't know anything about Curtly Ambrose. Yep. So I think I owe them, to at least let them know the true Curtly Ambrose. Hence, I did the book. So Richard Sydenham and I sat down. He came to the Caribbean. I was in 2014. We were doing CPL. I was with the guy in a franchise. So everywhere we go, he came, hopping around the Caribbean so we can talk about everything, And that's how the book came into being. And it's called Time to Talk. I didn't give it a name. Then it came from Richard. Because back in my playing days, I used to be very reluctant to give interviews. Yeah. I tried to shy away from interviews because my philosophy was, judge me from what you see on the field. Don't ask me. Yeah. Some guys like to be in front of the camera. I'm not one of those guys.
Well, I'm happy that you came. I'm happy that you're here today.
So we just say, that'd be a good title, Time to Talk. Yeah. I say, yeah, you're right. So that's how we named Time to Talk. And it's a nice book, tells you from my humble beginnings right up to the end of my career, and even after I stopped playing and everything. So it's a good book.
And where can people find the book?
It's not being sold in Antigua, unfortunately, at the moment. Yeah. But you can get it from Amazon and stuff like that. Nowadays everything is like that. So once you go on social media and all that stuff, you get all the information and everything. So, and that's the in thing as well. So I'm not all these young folks and everybody else. Yeah. We can go on social media, find everything. Yeah.
Yeah, man, and I'm happy that you have it.
Yeah, it's my daughter. It's my daughter who decided, say, Daddy, you should walk in the book, And I say, because they figure I'm too laid back. And my big daughter, Tanya, no, she's something else. Yeah. She just, how should I say, just manhandle me. Yeah. She'll call me, Daddy, you got to do so-and-so. Yep. She don't want to ask. Daddy, you got to do so-and-so. I said, Tanya, I'm not interested. Daddy, just do it. Yes. So she manhandled me, And I said, okay, no problem.
We tend to just relax and because we come from humble beginnings and you don't want to come across boastful. But man, you have a brand. You have a brand.
That's the word she like to use. Oh, Daddy, you understand? You have to understand who you are, and this and that. I said, okay, Tanya, do what I got to do. So all my social media accounts, all them stuff, is Tanya. Because I'm not that kind of person,
But she's good. You are a brand, and you are not a small brand. You are a household brand. So congratulations on the book.
Thank you very much.
The thing that I love about you too, with not settling. I watch you on Dancing with the Stars, man.
Oh yes.
How was that experience?
It was a great experience, believe me. I enjoyed it thoroughly. As a matter of fact, nowadays, everywhere I go, people like them tend to forget I was a cricketer. They keep talking about Dancing with the Stars. How to be saying, listen, I'm a cricketer, not a dancer. Yeah. But that was the last thing they saw me in. So, no, I got an email from the Dancing with the Stars people from Australia, inviting me to be part of Dancing with the Stars. And I looked at it. I said, Dancing with the Stars. I dismissed it. I said, I can't be bothered. Yeah. And a second email came. And I said, no, let me read it. So I read it and said, you know what? Still not me. And then I said to my wife and my girls, there's a possibility I could go to Australia for Dancing with the Stars, The They all jump up. Daddy, you have to go. You have to go. It's a big thing. Because they follow the one in America, whatever that name is, right? Daddy, you have to go. It's a big thing.
That's a big thing.
And I said, no, but I'm not a dancer. I mean, I can dance reggae and calypso and jam and them thing. But Dance with the Stars is ballroom dancing with a partner, and I don't think I'm cut out for that.
Yeah.
And my wife and my 5 girls, you got to go. No way, you have to do it. And so I was outvoted 6-1. I was like, I said to them, you say I must go. If I go embarrass myself, I'll be the one to be embarrassed.
Yeah.
They said, no, Daddy, you can do anything you want to do. And I said, you know what? It's a good opportunity to show the rest of the world. Because when people hear Curtly Ambrose, they think this big, tall Antiguan, mean, aggressive fast bowler who don't smile, you know. So I said, you know what? It's a good way to show the rest of the world a different side of Curtly Ambrose, a softer side. I can do something different than being mean and aggressive. So I went, not knowing what to expect. I got to Australia and met my dance partner. No, I'm 6'8". She's 5'4" or 5'5". So when I saw her first, I said, well, this is going to be problems. The height, the first, I was like, Jesus, this ain't going to work. But she was really, really good. She's a professional, because the Dance with Stars is professional dancers versus amateurs. Right. So she was really, really good. And we spent 3 months together. And we hit it off from day one. We had good chemistry. She never knew who I was. Right? She don't know anything about cricket. So when she told her dad, who is a big cricket fanatic, you know, I'm dancing with this guy from Antigua, from the West Indies, Curtly Ambrose. She told me, father, said, what? Girl, that's a legend. And that's when she went to Google. Because she don't know who I was or what I did or whatever, because she don't know cricket. And when the father told her, that's a legend, you're crazy. And she went Google and she come and realized, I said, boy, I didn't know you were, my apologies. I said, no need to apologize. You know, everybody follow cricket. But we had good chemistry, and she was so comforting. Many times, guys, because I set high standard, when I keep messing up during rehearsals, I will like curse myself, hit my head, come on, get it right. And she'd be like, come on, Curtly, you know, you're doing okay. 10 minutes ago, you couldn't do it. And so she was very comforting. So she really got me through the whole thing. Nice girl. And we spent 3 days. My wife came down after to support me, because I went before.
Well, the whole nation was...
Yeah, I know. I know, man. I tell you, it was really, really good.
That was a big moment, and I'm happy that your family encouraged you to
Yes, they did.
take the
I
opportunity.
didn't want to do it, you know, but then I enjoyed it, to be honest with you.
I'm happy that
It was
you
really,
did. I know that you're very passionate about music, and you know, before we wrap up this interview, I would definitely love to know where you are right now with music. I know that you are actually a part of a band.
Yes.
And, you know, where's that right now?
And speaking of music, before I answer that, you know, incidentally, my dance partner, her fiancé, is a guitarist in a group in Australia.
Oh.
So I met him, because she Googled me, so she knew everything. So he came and we met, and we started talking music and all that stuff. So from dancing to music, so it was like no peace at all, you know. And we talking about music, so well, I play the bass, he plays the guitar, the lead guitar. So, you know, so wonderful people. And I told him, you know, I told my dance partner, you got to come to Antigua one of these days. She said, definitely, to come to Antigua. So you come to Antigua love you, you know. So she probably come here when the time is right. But in terms of music, yes, I play at the moment for a band called Spirited. I started with Jordan the Ballhead with Bankers many years ago, as soon as I stopped playing cricket. So Richie and myself. And then after a few years, Bankers decided that, you know, he's going to close down. He wanted a different challenge. So he's been in music all his life. So we split and we formed Spirited. Same members, except for the lead singer. We have 2 female singers now, but all the other members are the same. So Spirited right now, haven't done anything since January or February because of the COVID, but we're still much together, we're still practicing. And, you know, hopefully when COVID is much better and the curfew and stuff is more, because our gigs are night, and, you know, curfew is 11, so we can't really play like that. So so Spirited is doing well, you know. And, if you go on the social media again, and you Google Spirited Band, you see all kind of clippings of the band playing, and we put out a video as well, which is really nice. So if you go on the Google Spirited Band, you will see a lot of clippings, but The band is still going strong.
Nice, and I'm happy to hear that, man. And the last question, which is to me one of the favorite question. How does it feel to be a girl dad? You know, you brag about your girls and how important they are to you, man. How is that feeling? You know, to be a girl dad.
Well, I kept hearing from everyone, everywhere I go, when they asked me about children, I said, I got 5 girls, and they kept saying to me, well, you're a lucky man. I say, in what way? They say, man, girls always stay with their fathers, you know, they stick to their fathers and everything. I've seen that as well, you know, but I love my girls dearly. My wife and my children, they are my heart. You know, I do everything and anything for them to make sure that they're happy and comfortable. You know, I talk about them a lot because I'm proud of them. You know, but I have to say, I did want a boy, to be honest with you. You know, I wanted a boy.
I think the world would have wanted you to have a boy.
I wanted a boy. So was my wife. We spoke about it and we wanted a boy to add to the mix. But unfortunately, we didn't get a boy. We still give thanks to the good Lord for blessing these 5 girls. Lots of people trying to have children and can't. So we are very blessed. And I love my wife and my girls dearly. Like I said, they're my heart. Everything I do for them. You know, I leave myself out all the time. And they're like, Daddy, you need to get so-and-so. I said, no, your girls, your ladies. I can wear 2 shirts and a pant every day. I'm a man. That ain't a problem. Women have to look different. Got to get a hair done, your nails. You got to look different. Don't worry about me, I'm okay, you know. But they're good girls. Have no problems with them. And like I say, people say I'm a lucky man, so maybe I am.
You're a blessed man.
I'm a blessed man, yeah.
And a very important question that someone had asked, and this is definitely the last one. How do you feel about the West Indies cricket team right now, man? What do you think, you know, we need to do to have more consistency out there?
First thing, I think we as West Indians, well, not some of the players at the time, but the West Indies Cricket Board, right, I think made a huge blunder way back in 1995, right? And that blunder cost us a series against Australia, and then that started the decline. Even though for the next 5 years, when I was still playing up until 2000, we were number 1 since about 1980 to 1995. West Indies team never lose a series. Went unbeaten for 15 years, right? That was a great team led by Clive Lloyd and Viv Richards and Gordon Greenwich Haynes, all those guys. Then I came in and I continued that tradition. Not that myself, but we continued the tradition for another 7 years because I came in 88. So between 1980 and 1995, West Indies never lost a series. So in 1995 now, we played against Australia and Desmond Haynes, who was a senior opening partner because there was no Greenwich anymore. According to the rules then, you have to be eligible to play in the regional competition for the competition to be selected. However, Desi Haynes was in South Africa playing. He missed one game from the 5 that we're supposed to be playing. Scored 3 centuries. And I want people to understand this. He missed 1 game, played 4 games, scored 3 centuries, so he's in prime form. And selectors and the cricket board, whomever, decided that he missed 1 game and he wasn't injured or was sick. He was overseas playing. So they're not going to select him. Now, Desmond Hayes, a veteran, have proven his word for many, many years. Are you telling me that because he missed 1 game, still scored 3 centuries, I got to stress on that, from 4 games, in prime form, are you telling me you couldn't just, is it like a rookie who just coming in, a veteran like Desmond Hayes? You're telling me you couldn't just bend the rules a little bit to accommodate him, knowing you have a strong Australian team? They didn't select him. He never played West Indies again. Stuart Williams and Sherwin Campbell, 2 youngsters, they threw him against Australia. We struggled, lost the series, and that started the decline. But for the next 5 years, we were still up in the top 3. Because we were number 1 then. After Australia beat us, we became number 2. But for the next 5 years, when I was still playing, we were still up in the top 3. So we were still doing okay. But that started the decline, in my opinion. Desmond Haynes would have been the perfect man to nurture Stuart Williams and Sherwin Campbell. So after a couple of years, when you leave the scene, they would have taken over. And then after I left the scene in 2000, we started to go downhill even more rapidly, and we haven't recovered yet. 20 years now, we're still struggling. And too many things went wrong. When we were the best team in the world, the West Indies Cricket Board, along with territorial boards, never put anything in place to nurture the talent. They figured we are great players, we will forever produce great players. It doesn't work like that. Other nations put in academies and stuff, caught up with us, and gone past us. We never did anything like that. So that's one of the main reasons why we're paying such a serious price now. Nothing was put in place. We took it for granted. So
But I hope that we can find it. I hope that we could definitely find back ourselves and get back on top.
we can. We still got some talent in the region. I have to say, though, that I don't think we will ever see those glory days again. Because, I mean, where are you going to find another Viv Richards or Brian Lara or the kind of top, it's difficult.
Or Curtly Ambrose.
Or Curtly Ambrose or Courtney Walsh. But to find that brand of cricketers, even further back, Sir Gary Sobers and all these guys, it's going to be difficult to find that brand again. But we can get back to some sort of respectability up in the top 4 or whatever and be competitive. But it's going to take a lot of work, discipline. You got to make some tough decisions as well. Because sometimes we tend to be too nice. Guys keep failing, and keep picking them all the time. No, we got to make tough decisions as well, and we can get back to some way to be competitive.
I am praying. I'm a West Indian man.
Of course, so am I.
Want us to get back
Of course I do. Everyone wants us to get back there. Because when I travel, people keep asking, what's wrong with West Indies cricket? When West Indies cricket is strong, it's good for world cricket. Because we play different brand of cricket. So people want to see us back. But like I say, we got to put things in place to nurture the talent from young, and we got to make some tough decisions as well.
Are you presently doing any coaching?
No, at the moment, no. Haven't done anything for a little while. I spent 2 years with the West Indies senior team, and then I was dismissed right after we won the World T20 under very strange circumstances. But we won't get into that. Lots of people, including myself, know the reasons. And before that, I spent 2 years in Barbados with the CCC, the Combined Campuses and Colleges team. And then, of course, I spent 3 years with the Guyana franchise in the CPL. So I've got some good coaching stints, and I'm also a level 3 cricket coach as well. So, I've got everything down pat. I'm just kind of waiting now to continue to do coaching. So I've got to wait and see. But COVID kind of slowed everything up. So hopefully after COVID, maybe next year or whatever, I can get back into coaching again.
Thank you so much, Sir Andrew, for passing through here, just sitting down and talking with me.
It was really a pleasure. And let me just say that, sorry I didn't do it much earlier. Saturday is a little bit difficult for me, but I decided to make the time today. And it was really a pleasure. Hope that you have enough information and you can, boost your program a little bit. And lastly, not because I'm an old man now, if I catch you on the basketball court, I can tell you one pass here, right? Experience.
We can talk something.
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot, yeah?
Thank you.